Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 261 for the 17th of November. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank y'all very much for tuning in today. And before we get started, because I think I got a lot to go over today, but if you're not a follower of the JP8 Report, please click that follow button. And then you go right next to it and click that thumbs up for a like. And if you can, share or repost. Okay, I really appreciate that. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. And then, just like usual, we only broadcast through Rumble, and we simulcast to Facebook, and we simulcast through X, and we want to do it through YouTube. But in order to do that, I have to have 50 subscribers on YouTube. Almost call it ScrewTube, which I just did. Wow, that goes back to Dan Bongino. So I ask if you can go to the JP8 Report 67 on YouTube, and you'll find my page. And just click subscribe. And at the end of the podcast, I have a slide, and you'll see it in writing exactly what it looks like and stuff. I really appreciate it. Until we hit 50, I'm just going to upload it every single time until we get 50 subscribers, and I can live stream it. All right? And then, so, yes, like I said, welcome to JP8 Report. We always start with America 250 because I want, as a historian, I want to celebrate our history. So I've been going day by day over what happened 250 years ago. So yesterday was the 16th of November, 1775, and today is the 17th of November, 1775. Both events that happened were in correlation to each other on those 2 days. So the first one is General George Washington gave orders to Colonel Henry Knox. He said, you are immediately to examine into the state of the artillery of this army, and to take an account of the cannon, mortars, shells, and lead and ammunition that are wanting. When you have done that, you are to proceed in the most expeditious manner to New York. There apply to the president of the provincial Congress and learn of him whether Colonel Reed did anything or left any orders respecting these things, and get him to procure such of them as can possibly be had there. If the president, if he can, will have them immediately sent hither. If he cannot, you must put them in a proper channel for being transported to this camp with dispatch before you leave New York. After you have procured as many of these necessaries as you can there, you must go to Major General Schuyler and get the remainder at Ticonderoga, Crown Point, or St. John's, if it should be necessary, from Quebec. If in our hands the want of them is so great that no trouble or expense must be spared to obtain them, I have wrote to General Schuyler. He will give every necessary assistance that they may be had and forwarded to this place with utmost dispatch. I have given you a warrant to the paymaster general of the Continental Army for $1,000 to defray the expense of attending your journey and procuring these articles, an account of which you are able to keep and render upon your return, given unto my hand and headquarters at Cambridge this 16th day in Oak Domini 1770, in the year of our Lord 1775, General Washington. And then he had a PS on it. Endeavor to procure what flints you can. So what it did in the when they did the citation for this letter was somehow typed out for General Washington, and where it says endeavor to procure what flints you can was in General Washington's own handwriting. And this was, I found this at founders.archives.gov. All right. So, with that being said, on the 17th of November, 1775, Colonel Knox, he left Boston for Fort Ticonderoga. And when he got up there, Fort Ticonderoga is on the Vermont, New York border. I think is just northeast of Albany, I think it is. But he brought back 120,000 pounds, he brought back 120 tons of munitions, I think it was. It included 43 heavy brass and iron cannon, 2 howitzers, 8 mortars, 3 were 13-inch mortars, and then there were 6 cohorns, which are small mortars. All right, and then 2,300 pounds of lead, and then, according to the PS and the orders he received from General Washington, a barrel of flint. Okay, so he took all that, and then what it didn't say in the letter to the utmost part was that he was instructed to bring them back to Boston so they can blow past the siege of Boston and get the British out of there, which I believe happened in March or April of 1776. All right, so that is what happened in this day in history in 1775 on the 16th and the 17th of November. All right, so pretty cool stuff. Thank y'all for tuning in. I see 9 people live watching right now. And okay, there we go. So I always talk about my buddies here. They're open Tuesday through Saturdays, 11 to 2, and then from 5:30 to 7, unless they sell out. This is the Dalmatian Texas Burgers. All right, and they're located in Coppers Cove, Texas, on the west side, over behind Bush's. And they have homemade smash burgers and dogs, and all their ingredients are homemade, including their buns, right? They have a good variety, as you can see from this menu I got posted here. All those single patty burgers are the same price. All the different varieties, all the doubles, and all the triples are the same way. They're $6.50, $9, or $11.50. And then hot dogs and sides and desserts, right? And they're good. This is why I show that to everyone that watches the podcast. And if you're on the west side of Coppers Cove, or if you are in the vicinity of Coppers Cove, go to the west side so you can try one of their Dalmatian burgers. All right. So next, so drama. So the great MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, stepped off into the deep end the other day, and thinking there's rumors that were all out there that she was going to run for the Senate in Georgia or she was going to run for the governor in Georgia. And last week, the president showed her some polls that said, no, you're not, because you're going to get crushed. She'll win her congressional district if she stayed there, but there's no way she was going to win the Senate or the governorship. And she didn't like it. And she started talking about all this junk, and she jumped into the deep end with the Epstein junk and all kinds of stuff. Man, she forgot where she came from and where her support came from. Well, the president laid into her. I thought I had that True Social, but I don't have it on my slides. But I'm sure everyone read it this last weekend. Well, late yesterday evening or this morning, she issued a statement. She said, I would like to say humbly, I am sorry for taking part in this toxic politics. It's very bad for our country, and it's been something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that we I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions, and I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately to put down the knives in politics, as she said. So she apologized, right? Sometimes you can't take back those words because once they get into public, the opposition uses those words. And we're in a very precarious situation in the House of Representatives where we have like a 1 or 2 seat majority in the House, depending on which way the wind blows and tips over Thomas Massey, right? So we have to work at it. I mean, I heard someone this morning saying we're in danger of losing 30 seats during the midterms. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm under the auspices. I'm going to do my best to maintain a Republican in my congressional district, which everyone should be doing the same thing. Her being toxic out there did a lot of harm to the Republican Party because all these naysayers, these never Trumpers, these people with TDS and these hardcore socialists out there, they're going to do their best to use any piece of ammunition on their side to discourage people from voting for the Republican candidate. Okay? Remember, Dan Bongino says, most Republicans are Democrats. No Democrats are Republicans. Always remember that. So if you're a true Republican, you got to stand your ground and don't play the game of coalescing and cooperating with Democrats out there, because they will hurt you every single time, because all they're going to do is take advantage of you and use you and then throw you to the wolves and then exploit their socialistic tendencies that they want to do, like expand the Supreme Court, expand the number of senators in the Senate by putting D.C. and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico and Guam as states, right, and expanding the Supreme Court. That's what they want, and they want to make an additional 1 or 2 appeals courts out there, right? One for each Supreme Court justice. This is what their plan is, to dilute the Republican brand out there and turn our country as far left as you possibly can, where there's no return. We're beyond that point of no return. Right now, we're at $37 trillion in debt. When they're done, what, 50, 55 trillion? And they say, well, we can spend more because the American people deserve it. But they keep spending other people's money. And sooner or later, our debt is, oh my goodness, close to, I think the debt payment is close, or interest alone on the debt payment is close to $1 trillion a year, which is unbelievable. I mean, that credit card is going to come due. There's going to come a point in time as what services are going to suffer because we don't have the money to pay. All right? And that whole bit was all about MTG. Really. I can't believe that. Next is you see, so you got 1 for the money, 2 to get going, 3rd is a charm, right? Or 3 is a crowd or whatever. Okay. I had that down packed and I messed it all up. All right. So this came out today. Democrat Socialist candidate Ray Hong launched her campaign for Los Angeles mayor against Democrat incumbent Karen Bass. She says, I am excited and very humbled to announce that I am running for mayor of Los Angeles, the second largest city in our nation, Hong wrote on her Instagram account Saturday. After over 20 years of leaning into my call to serve God through social justice work and organizing, this path has led me in these uncertain times to take the unusual path to continue my calling to run for mayor, to finally see through the changes the LA social justice movement and I have been building for years. The 43-year-old community organizer and Democratic Socialists of America member wrote that her campaign will focus on universal housing, free transportation, climate resiliency, and affordability. Affordability issues that resemble New York City Mayor-elect Mondami's initial campaign. This article came from FoxNews.com. So Miss Hong was to run against Karen Bass as a socialist. Bring more socialism. Now we got one in New York City. We got one in Seattle. And on the 2nd of June, is she going to lose to, because are they going to vote for a Republican? Or are they going to coalesce around Karen Bass? Or are they going to vote for this Ray Hong, right? So we're going to have one in 3 different corners of the country. What's next? South Carolina? I don't see that happening. Maybe Alexander, Virginia, or Fairfax or something. But this is, see, once you get the ball rolling with socialism and communism, it won't stop. It won't stop at all. You got to make changes in our country. And these rich people keep bankrolling these socialists. We got to get people to help. We got to either change campaign finance or, dollar for dollar, you got to match them at the campaigns. And it seems like more of the rich people are funding Democrats than richer Republicans are funding Republicans. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. If just comment on the live chat. And you don't worry about people seeing it 2 days from now, because after the podcast is over, the live chat goes away. So you can strike up a conversation if you want. That's no big deal. But we're in danger of electing another communist, and all DSA people are communists. Mark my word, they are totally in it. All 10 bags. That's an old Army term. 10 bags full, sir. But yeah, so this girl is going to run against Karen Bass. Hey, I see you, Rob. Good afternoon to you also. Next is the subject that nobody really wants to talk about. All right? Epstein. Here we go. Let me get these papers right. Okay, there we go. Put this over here. All right. So Trump calls for an Epstein file release, and Congress plans to vote on it. I believe the vote is going to be on Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's going to be Thursday. All right. And like Trump keeps saying, he has nothing to hide at all about this. And then I'm going to read some stuff from the New York Post about congressional delegate from the Virgin Islands. Her name is Stacey Plaskett, right? And this is crazy. So she was receiving real-time text messages from Epstein during a House hearing. And he was trying to show her how to embarrass Trump or set him up through questioning that she was given to someone that was being questioned at the House Oversight Committee. So it said Jeffrey Epstein was feeding questions to Stacey Plaskett during a 2019 congressional hearing and giving her real-time help on how to damage President Trump's reputation, newly released documents show. My question first is, if he was in jail, how in the world was he able to text, right? The text, first reported in Washington Post, showed that the convicted pedophile pontificating with Plaskett during a February 27, 2019 House Oversight Committee meeting in which the former then president's ex-attorney Michael Cohen testified about Trump's alleged payments to mistresses to silence stories before the 2016 election. Trump has vehemently denied all allegations because they were all false, right? And that's another thing. Why is a congressional person having any type of relationship with a convicted pedophile? I don't know. In the text, Epstein appeared to be watching on television while Cohen brought up former Trump executive existing Rona Gaff in his testimony. Oh, next page. Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets. Epstein texted, misspelling Gaff's first name. Rona asked Plaskett, a non-voting delegate representing the U.S. Virgin Islands, quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym? She didn't even know what she's talking about. Why was she even up there asking questions? She is getting paid $176,000 a year to be a delegate to the Congress. They don't even have any real authority. They're non-voting members, right? And she's doing this. She should be prepared for her job, not having everybody else give her the questions to ask. She should have already been prepared once she graced the presence of the doors into the committee room. He said that's his assistant. The text messages show Epstein influenced the questions, what questions Cohen asked. He's opened the door to questions who are the other henchmen at Trump organization. Epstein texted Plaskett at 12:25. Yup, you are waiting my turn. Plaskett began questioning Cohen at 2:28 and asked if Graff, as well as other Trump associates Epstein had mentioned, are there other people we should be meeting with? And so Alan Weisenberg, with the chief financial officer, Trump organization, Cohen said, you've got to quickly ask us as many names as you can so we can get to them, Plaskett responded. I'm Miss Rona. What is Miss Rona's? Is Miss Rona, what is Miss Rona's question mark? Rona Gaff is Mr. Trump's executive secretary. She was her office directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on. Cohen replied. And then Epstein said that was good work a minute after she finished questioning. There's 20,000 pages of it. This is ridiculous. So the guy that's in jail is telling a congresswoman, a delegate, on what to ask a witness at a congressional hearing. You believe that junk? That's trash. And the Democrats are forcing this on the American people to make it sound like our president is a criminal, and he's not. He's not. They're doing it to themselves. A lot of this stuff is made up. Like President said, release the files. Just release them. I'm tired of reading those things. Okay, I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that the president put out, okay? We're going to go through just a few of the slides, and I'm going to go on to other stuff like Department of Agriculture. All right, so Trump, he put this out, as I said, on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media. House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. And it's time to move on from this, a Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great successes of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, are looking at various, show more. I don't have that or more. Okay, so the next one is, I'm going to read. David Schoen was used to be the lawyer for Jeffrey Epstein, I believe. If Jeffrey Epstein had any dirt on Donald Trump, he would have had the greatest leverage in a criminal case against him at the time he died. The fact that he unequivocally had, that said he had none ought to shut down the false claims otherwise, but facts are no obstacle to political attacks. And then President Trump responded, it's a Democrat hoax for purposes of deflection, just like Russia scam. They are the sleazy relationships with Epstein and should be prosecuted. And the next one is President Trump. Okay, I read this, and hold on, I'm going to go back up. Attacks. Oh. Okay, Epstein are looking for various perpetrated, shut down, various Democrat operatives. I did have the whole thing. Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, and their relationship to Epstein, and the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they legally are entitled to. I don't care. And all I do care is the Republicans get back on point, which is the economy. And then it was one guy said the Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. And then another one was affordability big, where we are winning big. Oh, economy and then affordability. Our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars of investment into America, a record, the rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, MTG, are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is actually a curse to Democrats, not us. Make America great again. All right? So that is very important, because the more we concentrate on what the Democrats wants us to talk about, like this discharge petition that's going to be voted on Thursday, which they just go to automatically just grant it and get it over with, so we can get back to talking about the economy. All right? I mean, it's not all rose petals. What the Democrats did to us in the last 4 years, it's going to take a while for us to recover. They utterly destroyed our country. Every facet of our country was changed in 4 years, and it's going to take a while to get it back right. But unfortunately, us Americans have a short attention span, and we want it now. It's like you go into a fast food restaurant. I want that burger in 15 seconds or less. And look, dude, this is not a Formula One pit stop here. It's going to take a while to get stuff fixed. It is. And you just got to be patient. You got these Republicans in Congress need, I don't know what they did in their 2 months that they were out, because the speaker told them to go home and tell the constituents what's going on with this shutdown. They should have been out there. Stop playing the stupid golf. Stop going to exotic hunts out there looking for fancy sheep and stuff like that and deer. Get out there to the people that elected you and convince them to elect you again, because that's what the hard part is. Or unless you want to lose 30 seats, right? I would hate to see that happen. That would be really, really bad. I might as well just say this one. Okay, hold on, let me mark this off. Going pretty good. Let's see, I want to talk about that one now. All right. Talking about losing seats. We have the opportunity to do some more mid cycle. Um, it was Michael Cohen. Oh, okay. One of my friends, Rob Enter, he's giving me notes. I need to look at my my tablet more often. Thanks a lot. Mike Cohen was the one who was being interviewed in the Epstein thing. Um, Thanks a lot, man. Um, but oh yeah. So what I was saying was in Indiana, um, Governor Braun, he's trying to get another Republican congressional seat elected. Right now, their span is 7 Republicans, 2 Democrats, but they can redistrict without gerrymandering. They make it an 8-to-1 span, right? There's a 39 Republicans in the Senate and 10 Democrats, but the Senate president, his name is Roderick Bray, and then State Senator Greg Good both say they don't have the votes in the state Senate to approve redistricting. They have a 75-25 margin in the Senate, and they don't have the votes to get one more Republican in a congressional seat. President called them rhinos. I call them rhinos. Mr. Braun needs to find challengers for those people. Because, as a matter of fact, the president said it in his I saw it on True Social that they need to be primary. They do. Support your Republican Party or get out of the way. All right. Got that done. Let's see. Sean Duffy has ended all these flight restrictions because the shutdown is over with. So pretty much everyone's going to be able to fly on time wherever they go, which is good. I'm glad everything was safely rectified. 9 Antifa operatives in Alvarado, Texas, which is just south of Burleson and Fort Worth on I-35 West. They attacked an ICE facility in July, and an ICE police officer, Alvarado police officer, was shot and killed. They got all 9 of them arrested. It took a while for the last one to be caught, but they all got indicted. So they're going to stand in federal trial for what they did. Talking about people being arrested, Keith Michael Lisa, he was the guy who was on the news because he went in and vandalized Lena Haba's U.S. Attorney's office itself, and they caught him on camera. He had walked in there with a baseball bat, and they allowed him to leave, and then he came back later on and destroyed her office and left. He just left, right? This is in New Jersey. Well, they know who he was, and they captured him, and he's in jail now, so no one's got to worry about that. Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins from Stephenville, Texas, about 75 miles north of here. If you didn't know, I'm in Copper's Cove. So Miss Rollins was on TV yesterday and was explaining about SNAP as supplemental nutritional. Oh man, I forgot what the A and the P stood for. But okay, SNAP. Everyone knows what SNAP and EBT is. They're talking about making everyone re-enroll into the SNAP program because they discovered a bunch of fraud in it. This is not like stopping their SNAP benefits, but re-enrolling in it, a recertification. Like most states require every 6 months to recertify to make sure you're underneath that income limit, right? Well, what they had discovered, and this is what Ms. Rollins was talking about, 186,000 people in just red states were found to not exist anymore. I think let's see, I had it written down. Okay, I think people that weren't alive anymore, men, women, and children that were they were supposed to be receiving SNAP benefits. I think that's what it was. And I figured it out. So if you had I figured out it came out to about $93 million per month. It's like $188 per person. My numbers could be off a little bit, but about $1 billion a year in waste in just Republican states. So what is it in Democrat states? Let's see those numbers, right? So what? And there was no time limit given from Miss Rollins, from Secretary Rollins. Excuse me. Hold on just a second. They're talking about a waste of tax dollars and stuff. If there's like 200,000 more, 300,000 more people in blue states that are fraudulently receiving benefits from the federal government for SNAP, just imagine the toll on people being able to receive more money from SNAP if it was all legal, and or how much money could be cut out of the program if it didn't need to be, right? But as long as the kids are taken care of that need that program. Because you have WIC and SNAP and EBT, all right? And I'm not going to get into the specifics of each, but most people qualify for WIC when their kids are babies all the way up to, I believe, age 5, I think. And then, but you have SNAP and stuff, and you got to make sure people are using SNAP benefits the way they're supposed to be made, right? That's why. So SNAP is a card. They used to give food coupons, right? Food stamps, and but they found that people were actually exchanging food stamps for money or other services. That's why they went when they had the technology available for SNAP on a credit card. That's why they went to that. All right, so I would like to see what the blue state tally is, and I'm sure Mrs. Brooke Rollins is going to get to the bottom of this, so we can find out how much money is fraudulently being wasted, our tax dollars, right? Let's see, MSNBC is now MS Now, and I had a what do you call it? An acronym for it, but I had it written down somewhere. I don't know where it is. If you know any acronyms for MS Now, send it this way so people can see it. All right? Either you can put it in the live chat and it's here temporarily, or put it over on the hard comment section so people see it for eternity. Right? All right. So we got that done, and then the Texas scorecard, the Texas Minute that I got this morning. The Attorney General, Ken Paxton, filed a lawsuit against 3 Texas state laws, right? From the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. When I was at CTC, we interacted with these people all the time. But it says the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, has filed a new lawsuit seeking to dismantle. You know what? Hold on, let me go there. I got better. I got the actual article here. Attorney General has filed a new lawsuit seeking to dismantle 3 state-run higher education programs he says unconstitutionally discriminate against students, religious students, and faith-based organizations. The lawsuit, filed in Travis County District Court, targets Texas College Work-Study Program, the Texas Works Internship Program, and the Texas Innovative Adult Career Education Grant Program, all administered by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. Paxton alleges the programs contain non-sectarian restrictions that violate the First Amendment and improperly bar Christian ministries and religious students from participating in taxpayer-funded benefits. The lawsuit is notable because Paxton is effectively taking a state agency to court. The anti-Christian laws target religious students must be completely wiped off the books. Paxson said in a statement announcing the lawsuit, "Our nation was built by patriotic Americans and the freedom to express the religious beliefs without fear of being targeted. We will honor that heritage by upholding the First Amendment in Texas. At the heart of the dispute are long-standing statutory and regulatory provisions requiring participating employers to offer only non-sectarian work, from barring state funds from being used for religious instruction, worship, or proselytization. Students enrolled in seminary programs are excluded from work-study programs entirely." Paxton argues the restrictions amount to wholesale exclusion of otherwise qualified students and enterprises based solely on religious character, something recent U.S. Supreme Court precedent has repeatedly condemned. The lawsuit cites decisions such as Carson versus Macon, Espinoza versus Montana, and Trinity Lutheran versus Comer, in which the court held that governments cannot deny access to public benefits simply because applicants are religious or engaged in religious activity. Okay, so this is long. It says long-standing statutory and regulatory provisions. That is key word for this happened before 2003, when Republicans finally secured the House of Representatives. There are laws in the books in the Texas Constitution and the Texas Municipal Code and the Texas Education Code and all levels of the Texas government that were written by Democrats, because we know how they are. And they found 3 of them. In the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, all they have to do is, well, they can't just ignore it because it's actual law. So the next legislative session, that law is going to have to be rescinded. And at the same time, the Attorney General takes it to court and can be nullified, but it's still got to be removed from the books. All right? More power to them. A free and fair and open society for us, right? That's why we had the First Amendment. That was an important one. And let's see. Boeing's being sued. Encore pushes $33 billion in power projection expansion. If you can't have, if you can't have illegitimate power in your state, you're going to be walking everywhere. Houston mayor defends police coordination with ICE. John Whitmire is the mayor of Houston, Texas. He used to be a state senator. He's a Democrat. Remember, I don't like Democrats, right? But he's a moderate Democrat. And he is the mayor of, he stepped down from the state senate to run for the mayor of Houston. He got elected. Well, at first he said that they weren't cooperating with ICE, and then it came out that he was. And he said he will not stop. So the bullets from his, after previously denying significant involvement, Houston Mayor John Whitmire admitted last week that the city's police department had been cooperating with Immigration Customs Enforcement. Whitmire defended the involvement as limited cooperation necessary to avoid counterproductive federal intervention. The mayor said that when Houston police had conducted traffic stops or even making arrests during sting operations, individuals are not asked their immigration status, but when they find out, they turn them over, right? There was another article in here, and I actually watched a YouTube video about Charles Blaine with the Texas scorecard about microtransits. So what he was saying in his YouTube video, that a lot of municipalities that have fixed buses, right, like DART and START and the HOP and I don't know what they call it in San Francisco, and well, all this stuff, right? Well, they can only go so far. So what they were doing is like they were advertising to everyone, like, well, we could use these minibuses and go pick up people and then take them either to their destination or take them to a bus stop. Well, what this young man was finding out was that it was even more expensive than what was being advertised through the transportation people, right? Like he said, across the state, microtransit firms are popping up, replacing fixed bus networks. But as Charles Blaine explores in the latest edition of the Texas Tomorrow, they might not be all they are made out to be. So look up Charles Blaine or Texas Tomorrow, and you can read. I think the YouTube was about 4 minutes long, and it was pretty good. I watched it this morning. That's why I wanted to tell you all about this. All right. So listen to Charles Blaine out there, okay? And on the Texas scorecard, the last part is on November 17th, 1835. It's before the Alamo, for y'all that don't know. Residents of Cincinnati, Ohio, inspired by the Texans' fight for independence, because I guess they heard about Gonzales, right? Come and take it. Began raising funds to purchase 2 cannons for the cause. They were shipped down the Mississippi and arrived in Texas in April, just in time for the Battle of San Jacinto. And it said number of the day is 24,831. The population of Cincinnati, Ohio in 1830, roughly the same as the entirety of Texas at the time. So Texas only had 24,000 people in the days of our independence fight. The same population as Cincinnati. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Saturday night, I went to the West Side Conservative Coalition. That's just like the Coppers Cove Conservative Club. All right, they meet in Bell County. We meet in Coryell County, and it's a good example of low density politics, because only in small groups are we allowed to reach out and get more people involved in the political contest that is always on our shoulders that keep us in the majority, right? So what they had on Saturday night is a meet and greet of local candidates that have already filed for office or right about to file for office, because we're in our filing period here in the state of Texas from 8 November to 8 December. So like the next Coppers Cove Conservative Club is going to be the 9th of December. So we'll have a final signing list of everyone that's filed for office in Coryell County at that time, right? But so there was a good 40 or 50 people there, and about 25% of them were candidates. And I'm gonna go over some pictures. I'm gonna show you a picture of Dennis Faulkner. He is the chair of the West Side Conservative Coalition. He's a retired, I believe, lieutenant colonel in the Army, and this is what he does. He's a precinct chair and elections judge. I'm a precinct chair also, but he's also an election judge besides just being the chair. And then he's the leader of the West Side Conservative Coalition. And then in the background here, you have Will Abel. He's running for CD 31 here in Texas. This is Raymond Hamden. He's also running for CD 31, Republican primary. Over here is the famous Bobby Whitten. He's a county commissioner number 3 in Bell County, I believe. He's running for his 3rd term. All right. He's a banker, very smart. His only downfall, he's an Aggie fan. I won't hold it against him. Right here is Tony, go back. Tony, that's my hat from Afghanistan. But that's Tony Canalino. He is a former Harker Heights city councilman and he is running for the Bell County Republican Party chair. This guy over here is John Gott. He is running for County Court of Law number 3, I believe. All right, running for re-election. This is B. Cox. B. Cox is running for JP, I believe JP4, I think it is, in Bell County. This is her first run in office. This lady right here, Luann Minnick, her husband is Cheyenne. She is the field representative for the re-election of Greg Abbott's campaign. She's new to Facebook also. Awesome lady. Her and her husband are great people. If you ever meet them, you got instant friends. And I think I got one more. Nope. Okay, so I'll go back to me. All right. So, yeah, that was a really good event. I was there from 6 to about 8:15, 8:30, and we met a lot of people. I met friends that I hadn't seen in a while. A lot of them are doing campaign advising for people. They're building media networks. One of them, he wanted to get with me about what I'm doing with this podcast so we can take it to the next level. As some of y'all know, I'm still building a new studio to get rid of this green screen because it drives me nuts. Because look at my shirt now. I thought I had it fixed. I think I got to move my camera back just a little bit, but that's all right. In about another week or so, my studio will be up and moving. I might try to adjust it this afternoon, though. But it shows that local politics is the way to go. We need one in Gatesville, just like the 4 Cs. The West Side Conservative Coalition, they're mainly in Killeen. I bet they could use another one in Salado or Temple, right? Get people spread out across these that's the way you do it. Low density people, pockets of people. And I want to be with the people in the West Side with the 4 Cs, and I want to get the Texas First people in Lampasas, so we all do the same thing across the board, because all of our above county candidates are the same. Like we have the same state senator. We don't have the same state representatives because here in Coryell County we have Shelby Slauson, and over in Bell County they have Brad Buckley and the great Hillary Hicklin. But we need to get together so we can vote red and stay red, and that's what matters. Support the Republican president and everything. Give him the tools he needs to make him successful, to make our country successful. All right. Anybody have any questions? I went over a whole. Oh, wait a minute. I got a little bit more. I got about 3 or 4 more minutes. Okay. One thing, we got 3 people running for our U.S. Senate. One's Ken Paxton. We have the sitting incumbent John Cornyn, and then we have Wes Hunt. All right. I would like them to explain their positions on the filibuster, on blue slips, and term limits. Because I personally think we need a constitutional amendment on term limits. No more than 3 terms as a U.S. senator, and 4 terms as the U.S. House. All right, give them 8 years in the House, 18 years in the Senate. We need to do away with the filibuster. We need to do away with that, right? And if we keep the filibuster, get rid of those stupid blue slips, right? And they're counterproductive. They're nowhere even. It's just a gentleman's agreement where I want to appoint a judge in your state, and I would like your support from it. And if you don't, we won't recommend them. All right? No, that's not how it goes. You're the president. You get to nominate the judges who you want. That's how we're getting these. Why is the West Coast Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals always liberal? Well, it's because most of the senators in that area of the United States are blue. I mean, are liberal, and they can yank the Republican nominee anytime they want and make the president nominate the most liberal of judges to put him on the bench. Should not have it happen at all. So I would advocate doing away with blue slips, totally. I would like the filibuster to be gone, but I would like a constitutional amendment on term limits. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the Supreme Court, about an hour and a half ago, agreed to review the Trump administration's effort to limit immigrants from seeking asylum at border crossings in the United States. Because if you're seeking asylum, you should be applying for asylum at the first country you come into when you flee your original country. So if you're fleeing Brazil and your land route to the United States, you're going to enter Colombia or Venezuela, or Guyana or Suriname or Peru or Ecuador, I think even Chile. But you should apply for political asylum at the U.S. Embassy at any of those locations, not when you get to Juarez and you're trying to cross into El Paso. I'm declaring political asylum. It don't work like that, dude. Okay, so the Supreme Court is going to look into that. The Supreme Court has agreed to review efforts by the Trump administration to seek asylum processing claims for immigrants at the U.S.-Mexico border in an order issued Thursday. The key issue in the case is Noem, which is Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security. Al Ortro Ledo is over what constitutes arrival in the United States with the meaning of federal immigration law. The law provides that an alien who arrives may apply for asylum and must be inspected by an immigration officer. That's what's at issue. The legal question, however, is over whether an immigrant arrives to begin processing for asylum claim when meeting immigration officials at the U.S. side of the border or while still on the Mexican side. So which side are they supposed to be on? So the Supreme Court is going to have arguments about that early next year, and they said they expect a decision probably in June. All right? I knew I almost forgot that. All right, I'll mark those off. All right, so if y'all want to find me, look for me on X at James Pierce Jr., on Facebook at James A. Pierce Jr., on YouTube, like I made, if you didn't know, my slide was a little bit different last week. YouTube at the JP8 Report 67. Go there and subscribe for me, okay, please. And then on Truth, I'm at James A. Pierce. And if you want to send me an email, it's jp8report@gmail.com. All right, so the important one on all of this is the YouTube one. The JP8 Report 67 is the name of the channel itself. All right, so that is the JP8 Report, all 59 minutes of it today. No more comments. Still got some people watching. I guess they're going back to work since it's lunchtime. So I will see y'all tomorrow at noon. I'm out of here because I got to go get my copy of my birth certificate because I got a crack in my driver's license, and I got to have my birth certificate because they don't have one on file for me. So I got to take my birth certificate, and I got to take my DD Form 214, and I got to take my VA disability letters because in Texas, if you're disabled, if you're a veteran, they'll put veteran on for you, but you got to show your 214. If you're a disabled veteran, you got to show your DD Form 214 and your disability letter showing your rating on there, so you can get disabled veteran put on your driver's license. And I did not know until a couple of days ago that it will never cost me any money ever again. I guess that was a benefit. I didn't join the Army for that, but it's not going to cost me anything. And if you are listening and you're in the DPS or the DMV, I think it's the DPS, hey, y'all need to work on that txt.gov thingamajig site, because if you want people to renew their driver's license, and there's a change on it, that's horrible. So y'all need to work on that. All right. So, hey, this is James Pierce with the JP8 report. I'll catch you on the flip side. I am out.